Hey guys, how you going? Okay, video it was today. The people have spoken. I did a poll earlier to see if I should go live or if I should do a video, and anyone can vote in that poll. So there you go, video it is. DOQ, can you believe you are alive to witness what's about to go down? Disclosed TV said Justin Netanyahu says Israeli military will enter Gaza with full force in the coming days to destroy Hamas, and there will be no situation where we stop the war. Yeah, it is very interesting considering Donald Trump just said he supported Palestinian statehood, two-state solution. They're going to find out. Okay? They're about to find out. And I don't believe that Donald Trump is behind them now. He's looking for peace. Oh, this one too. Watch a Guru said just in. President Trump says, I'm a big crypto fan. Guys, if you haven't, do go and have a look at it, please. Redline News said, do you support President Trump and trust his judgment on the Boeing 747? Donald J. Trump said the Boeing 747 is being given to the United States Air Force Department of Defense, not to me. It's a gift from a nation, Qatar, that we have successfully defended for many years. It will be used by our government as a temporary Air Force One until such time as our new Boeings, which are very late on delivery, arrive. Why should our military, and therefore our taxpayers, be forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars when they can get it for free from a country that wants to reward us for a job well done? This big savings will be spent instead to make America great again. Only a fool would not accept this gift on behalf of our country. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Go Trump. Can we have President Trump here? I know I keep asking. We need help. Gunther Eagleman said arrest them all, 20 years in prison. The precedent was set. Bad Hombre said happening now. Democrat boomers are staging an insurrection and attempting to push their way through Capitol Police at the Rayburn House office building. So is this an insurrection? If J6 was, is this? Actually, this is more of an insurrection than what J6 was. They opened the doors for the people to go through the Capitol. Wow, okay. Retards down under. Breaking, Donald Trump roasts Anthony Albanese in a recent fake Truth Social post. What? Is this a fake Truth Social post? What are they doing? Why do this? What do you think you're achieving? As true as it may be, you're making yourself appear to be the retard that you claim to be pointing out to others because it's funny, you effing retard. Well, it is funny because it's a fake one, okay? Anthony Albanese, Australian PM, total retard, running the country into the ground. Sad. We will be discussing our trade deal very soon. Make Australia great again. That's a fake one, okay? And you can tell by the typing even. Look at the difference. Okay? That's the real one. That's the fake one. You know, I really wish he did say this, though. I mean, kind of. Probably he would be more tactful than whoever wrote that one. But anyway, it's funny. Brian Cates, political columnist and pundit, said America's about to discover that many of the stars created in Hollywood and the music industry in the last 20 to 25 years are actual perverts, rapists and pedos. They were that before they were handpicked and elevated to being stars. It's why they were picked. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. This has to be surfaced slowly in small, easily digestible chunks at a time for the American collective mind. Their malfunctioning censorship state and their broken fake news media matrix will try like hell to delay the coming reckoning for as long as they can. They've been up to really bad stuff, guys. I understand this is going to be extremely hard for some people to handle when it hits, that the stars whose music you love and the actors whose films you cherish are just the hand-picked puppets of a truly evil machine that hides in the background, denying it exists and is there. But it does exist and it is there. And crimes against children will unite humanity against the demons in human form, because that's what they are. 9mm SMG said, if I was a South African farmer, I'd destroy my soil and equipment and knock my house down before getting on a plane to the USA. So would I. And apparently the South African, whoever he is, one of the politicians in charge, said that they're chickens for running away. In other words, not those words exactly, but that's what he's suggesting. Really? You want them to stay and their families be raped and murdered? Great. Yeah, fantastic, you moron. Okay, Table Salt said major breaking. Alberta refuses to enact Carney's federal industrial carbon price increases. The Republic of Alberta is in open revolt. Buckle up, guys. In Canada, because they just had their elections before Australia did, okay, they're questioning now. There's questions, okay? So is Australia. You'll find out they actually found some ballots in Australia in someone's house. Ariel said, not to allude to anything dramatic, but I think this is part of the show where we find out what the phrase "we're saving Israel for last" will mean very soon. I think we already know. And this goes to the same comment that I just highlighted before. Netanyahu says Israel's military will enter Gaza with full force in the coming days to destroy Hamas, and there will be no situation where we stop the war. Okay, we're about to find out why Israel last. That's what was said. Okay, they're going to give me that phishing sign again, aren't they? Are they? Oh, now they're... Oh, yeah, no. Okay. Very special reason it wasn't mentioned because they're saving it for last, okay? Newsmax Australia said Sydney Lord Mayor Clover Moore is banning festivals in council parks, citing climate change concerns, unless they are for causes she supports. The Daily Telegraph reports that the City of Sydney Council is enforcing a new strict policy that blocks new major events in parks to prevent grass damage. Dear God. A Lord Mayoral minute prohibits bookings for events with the council, citing damage to the grass, accelerated by severe weather events due to climate change. Oh, my goodness. When are these people going to get it? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Exceptions to Miss Moore's ban, 2 events that she personally supports: the LGBT plus Mardi Gras Fair Day and Aboriginal Yaboon Festival. Everything else will be rejected. How woke can you get? The city's parklands have long held annual events like concerts, performance and festivals. Businesses Sydney said the decision will even further inhibit efforts to revitalise the CBD. Wow. This woman is woke as, you know what? She's a nut job, seriously. Clover Moore, she's been known to be a nut job for years. She's woke as. I don't know how they keep voting for her or how she keeps getting it. Oh, wait, hang on. Yeah, I might know. Tim Poole said, oh, what? Okay, this is ChatGPT, okay? Did Trump pause refugee intake? Yes, in 2017, President Donald Trump signed Executive Order 13769, which temporarily paused the US refugee admissions program for 120 days. It also lowered the annual refugee cap and restricted entry from several predominantly Muslim countries. This order was part of what became widely known as the travel ban. It was later revised and upheld, in part by the Supreme Court. Did he do it in 2025? No, Donald Trump did not pause refugee intake in 2025 because he was not president in 2025. What world is ChatGPT living in? It says he's not president in 2025. As of that year, Joe Biden is serving his second term as president. ChatGPT knows nothing. Okay? Wow. Even none of them are really, really that good, okay? Oh, my God. Yep, watch what happens when people start relying on it and it fails. Liz Crokin said Cassie Ventura's testimony is bad for J-Lo. Cassie Ventura testified today that Sean Diddy Combs handed her a loaded gun to hold when they went to an LA club. In Rodney Little Rod Jones' lawsuit against Diddy, he claimed that Jennifer Lopez smuggled Diddy's gun for him inside the New York City nightclub where 3 people were victims of a shooting in 1999, including one woman who was shot in the face. This implies that it's likely it was a pattern for Diddy to use his girlfriends as gun mules and that J-Ho is far from innocent. Diddy's driver at the time of the 1999 nightclub shooting said J-Lo named Shine Barrow as the shooter. If this is true, it means J-Ho not only was a criminal accomplice to the shooting by carrying the gun, she also helped frame an innocent man who spent many years in prison for a violent crime Diddy allegedly committed. Also, J-Lo attended Diddy's freak-off parties and may have been the anonymous celebrity who watched the rape of a 13-year-old at one of the Diddy's parties, as alleged in lawsuit filed last year. Furthermore, last year, 2 law enforcement sources told the New York Post that the 1999 nightclub shooting and that trial could possibly be reinvestigated as part of a sweeping federal probe into Diddy. Read more on J-Ho's involvement in my post below that is shadow banned here on X in the search tools, including the advanced one. And I won't go into it, but what I will do is add it to... I will do a Diddy video, okay, at a later date. Randy Quaid, you know, Cousin Eddie in National Lampoons, yep. The huge amount of work Trump is doing to fix America makes you realise Biden had us inches from total destruction as a functioning free country. By the way, guys, I'm not a professional reporter. I am not a professional anything. Everyone mentioned in this video is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything here is theory until proven otherwise. Digital Swolger said the king just touched down in Saudi Arabia. Purple tie, purple stairs, purple carpet. This isn't just a photo op, it's a command signal. And if you know that they do give us communication signals, and purple is a royal, okay? Purple is royal. That's what purple means. The Saudis rolled out the royal treatment for Commander-in-Chief. Purple isn't just the colour of royalty. Purple is the colour of supreme authority, dominion, control, power. For those in Rio Linda, Trump didn't just walk down those stairs. Trump descended like a king returning to the battlefield. This is a global power move. The optics here are undeniable. I don't care who you are. This is a reset. This is a realignment. This is sovereignty in action. Every handshake, every step, every frame of this moment is a signal to the world that the old guard is finished. The alliances are shifting. The balance of power is being redefined. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman greets President Trump upon landing in Saudi Arabia, says Dan Scavino. Yep, everything about this is like royalty. Let's have a look. Was that a 21 gun salute? Just asking. Anyway, here he is, walking like he doesn't have a care in the world. Did you see anyone ducking when they heard the gunshots? No. Do that in Australia, you watch everyone freak. Okay, especially people on their own property. Practice shooting, target shooting. Anyway, here's Trump. Everything's purple. Treated like royalty. He's got a purple tie on. He is being treated like royalty over there. They even drove in McDonald's for him. In a truck, I believe. From what I saw, it looked like a McDonald's truck. So there you go. Moves and counter moves. Clandestine said, how cute. The Trump is controlled by Israel crowd have already begun their backtracking and are pretending they haven't been bashing Trump and his supporters 24/7, 365. I may not agree completely that everyone can go and F themselves. We told you from the beginning Trump was not controlled by anyone, and we were called every name in the book for it. Well, it turns out we were right again. Did Candace Owens also think Trump was controlled by Israel? Just asking. We were not guessing. The situation did not change. The simple reality is all the people who said Trump was owned by the Jews are just, misled and had never had any idea what they were talking about. All the influencers who pushed this nonsense will never apologise for being spectacularly wrong about this subject, so it's going to be up to us to hold them accountable. I have lots of receipts. Let us know who they are. Please. I believe Miss Owens was one of them at one point. Okay, awakened outlaw, Trump sporting a purple tie. There's 0% chance this isn't meaningful. If you know, you know. And the only way you're going to know is by going over here and reading this. Okay? I cannot even put it in the links because it's against the policies, and things like that. So I can't even do that for you. I can't even tell you what it is because the video will get, they keep hammering me because I say the wrong thing. Yeah. I don't even know how to say this. Yihai or? This is another one. The Las Vegas shooting was an assassination, allegedly, attempt on Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and was orchestrated by the same corrupt shadow government with the help of MS-13, Obama's JV team ISIS. Trump saved the heir of the Saudi kingdom's life. That's why. They owe him. Okay, Newsmax Australia said the Commonwealth Bank in Australia has threatened to cancel and close the accounts of leading Australian businessmen because he wouldn't explain to them where his money came from and why he had sums of cash. The Commonwealth Bank of Australia has sent the warning in writing to Lewis Christopher, who runs leading investment research company SQM, ironically an organisation regularly quoted by the finance industry on trends in the real estate market. Mr. Christopher has described the bank's extraordinary threat. Just out of the blue, the bank sent me the enclosed email and demanded to know how I've built my wealth, why I have made cash withdrawals, if I'm holding cash at home, and why. Why did I make certain transactions to third parties? I called the bank and it was true. They were going to suspend my accounts this week if I didn't tell them the answers to the above questions. Said Austrac gave them the authority to do that. Austrac is the government's financial investigation and intelligence arm. He described the ordeal as extraordinary. What I've just gone through this morning with the Commonwealth Bank of Australia is disgusting, absolutely despicable Orwellian stuff driven by Austrac. The federal government has empowered banks to start questioning customers on what they're doing with their cash and where sums deposited come from. Mr. Christopher said soon you'll be restricted on what you can and cannot spend. That's too much money being spent on your next holiday, sir. And not only that, I believe that they are trying to go like cash, no more cash. They don't want cash. That's what the government want, and they're giving the banks the authority to do that now too. Cat Turd said Democrats suddenly stopped talking about tariffs today. Were they too sidetracked, were they, by the South Africans coming in and telling them to go to England instead? That's what one person did. Johnny Magus said Trump is now being driven around the birthplace of Saudi Arabia by the Crown Prince himself. The level of respect shown here is unprecedented. Well, look, if he saved his life, I'm not surprised. Dr. Russell McGregor said Netanyahu, speaking to the Knesset, I think we'll need to wean ourselves off US military aid. Do you understand what is coming? The NWO is imploding in real time. The New World Order, the one that Bush mentioned, the one that Clinton mentioned, the one that some of our prime ministers have mentioned, is dying. Chris Martz said CBS News warns that if we don't stop burning ancient carbon, 25% of Florida will soon be underwater. Oh, wait, silly me, this was broadcast 43 years ago. Do you get it yet? Scare you. If they can keep you in fear, you're easier to control. Please don't do it. Okay, the climate changes all the time. Okay, that's just scare campaign. RM said going to zero. Pfizer. Oh, look at that. Wow. They're down. Well done. Okay, Il Donaldo Trumpo said $1 trillion investment secured. What a freaking tea. He's the GOAT. Trump is the GOAT. Nick Sautor said after an incredibly long day following an incredibly long flight, President Trump has now left the Saudi state dinner. This is only day 1 of 4. Trump will be travelling to multiple other countries and he's even considering adding a 5th day. 47 is an absolute machine. Go, President Trump. Cat Turd said it's blatantly obvious now that Trump and his cabinet work for the American people and 90% of Republicans and Democrats in Congress work for lobbyists and they're for sale to the highest bidder. Yep, as you've seen. By Trump dropping the price of pharmaceuticals, a lot of people come out of the woodwork, Republicans and Democrats, saying he shouldn't do that. I wonder why. They're being paid. Gork and Russ said so many crosses. This is in South Africa, okay? This is all the white people who've been killed in South Africa. Good luck when you don't have any farmers left and you have to try and feed your people. Dr. Malouf said each cross represents a white farmer who was murdered in South Africa, and some people still deny that white South Africans, Boers, are being persecuted and say they don't deserve asylum because they're white. Yes, that's what some US Congress people are saying. Liz Crokin said connecting dots with Cassie Ventura's testimony. I'm going to do that one later as well. Sorry, guys. Old Soldier said, Oz Electoral Commission. We have 18,098,797 registered voters in Australia, but only 15,731,075 currently counted, including informal, and boxes of votes missing. Why shouldn't there be a full AusFed police investigation? Yes, because they're missing. One box was actually found in someone's home, okay, full of ballots. And they have to do it in pencil. Take a pen, guys. Don't ever do that. This is a John Denver parody account, and he's saying something that I know is true. I'm not sure that I can say it, though. Getting procedures for your dog or cats or any animals can give them a lot of diseases. Okay, just letting you know. It's the same as the humans. Okay, Kurt Malberg said Susan Ley was the perfect pick for a Liberal Party intent on electoral oblivion. She's been peddling faux conservatism for a decade. Don't make me pull out the quotes. On gender quotas, she supports targets and quotas where they're necessary to address systemic underrepresentation. That's all you need to tell me. Oh, dear God. 2016 on the gender pay gap. The gender pay gap is not real, love. It's not. She thinks that women are on average earning 17% less than men across Australia. Do you know why? Because, and I found this out listening to our parliament and question time, people being questioned about this. The gender pay gap is taking over the life of the person, okay? It's taken over the life of the person. So when women stop to have babies and take time off work, of course they're going to get paid less over a lifetime than a man. This is not, if any company pays a woman less than a man for the same job, they're going to get hammered. They do not do this, okay? So what we've got is our Conservative Party has a woke lefty in charge. Okay, she's all for marriage equality, okay? She needs to protect religious freedoms, but not at the expense of discriminating against others in the community. Hello, what about Christians then? She's committed to net zero, okay? She thinks X should obey the law in Australia and not for the actions and statements of our e-safety commissioner to be ignored. She backs our e-safety commissioner 100%. Oh, God. She would support the government in cracking down on social media platforms. She wants to modernise the Liberal Party. Okay, she wants to turn it left. Okay, even more left. And she's a feminist and proud of it. No, we need someone to ask her on camera, what's a woman? Yes, exactly. Oh, dear God. Look, let me in there. I'll be like I'll do a Trump on them. I really will. I'd clean it right up. I mean, you'd have probably, you could count on two hands how many people would be left in Australian electorate, in Parliament, sorry. Rob Smith said ballots from the 2025 federal election found hidden in an AEC worker's house. Apparently over 2,000 votes were taken. Tell me again that this election wasn't played with. How many more votes were stolen? Considering some seats were won by Labor on a few hundred votes, this is worrying indeed. I demand a new election. We all should. The AEC, this is in the news, AEC confirms missing ballots found at electoral worker's home. A temporary AEC worker, and apparently the person couldn't speak English, or they couldn't understand them. Okay, I want to know what's going on. Demand it. Topher Fields said, okay, next week, I'm not the only one who thinks this. Okay, next we can get rid of seatbelt warnings, lane departure warnings that are deliberately hard to turn off, follow the road rules disclaimers that you have to click OK on to get rid of, and default transmission modes that are so economy focused they destroy drivability. I long for the days when I could turn a car on, drive without a single unnecessary ding, and without having to turn off half a dozen safety nanny or eco-Nazi systems just to make the car drivable. What else have I missed? Lee Zeldin said start-stop technology where your car dies at every red light so companies get a climate participation trophy. The EPA approved it and everyone hates it, so we're fixing it. Yes, I have this in the car that I'm currently driving now. It dings for everything. Dings if you've got the keys in the ignition and the door open. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. And the last car I had used to make noises when the lights were still on and the key was in the ignition and the door was up. It's too bad if you want to listen to the radio while you're cleaning your car or anything, okay? It's ridiculous. There is no need for it. Oh, wow. Sorry, it's a pet peeve of mine, all these dings, whistles, and even my washing machine. It beeps at me like it's reversing at the end. I'm like, where are you going? There's nowhere to go. You can have travel around the laundry a bit, but it's not very big. Anyway, the Vigilant Fox said Trump is resetting the global order. For the first time in decades, an American president is prioritising peace and prosperity over endless war. He extends an olive branch to a long-time adversary, offering them a path to Western greatness. Then he dropped a line so raw it revealed exactly what he plans to do over the next 4 years. Okay, the era of endless wars is over and President Trump is offering a new vision built on strength, peace and results. Standing on a stage in Riyadh, Trump opened the US-Saudi investment forum with a powerful tribute to his longtime friend, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The tone was clear from the start. It wasn't a routine diplomacy. It was the foundation of a powerful alliance. What a great place, but more importantly, what great people, he said, addressing the Saudi royal family. Turning to the Crown Prince, Trump spoke from the heart. I want to thank His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, for that incredible introduction, he said. He's an incredible man. I've known him a long time. There's nobody like him. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much, my friend. It's a partnership that's already delivered billions in investment, historic peace deals, and a united stance against terrorism. Now Trump is back, reaffirming his commitment to a relationship that's been reshaping the Middle East. But Trump didn't stop at celebrations of alliances. He took direct aim at the foreign policy elites who failed the region for decades. As he praised Saudi Arabia's historical transformation, he issued a scathing rebuke of the interventionist mindset that defines US policy for years. The heat was scorching. It's crucial for the wider world to know this great transformation has not come from Western interventionalists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. He laid bare the legacy of failure. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons or liberal non-profits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad and so many other cities. Instead, Trump credited the people who lived there, who built their countries without lectures or occupation. The people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives depending on your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. He made sure no one missed the lesson. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that didn't understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. And the key to real progress? Peace, prosperity and progress came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions, and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly. In the crowd, Crown Prince, MBS and Elon Musk applauded, signalling a shared understanding of what it took to rebuild the region on their own terms. Another familiar face in the audience? Elon? Before we roll the next clip, if you're not following me, you're missing out on critical updates. This is a Vigilant Fox. Then came the shocker. Trump extended an unexpected olive branch to one of America's oldest adversaries, Iran. But it wasn't just a plea, it was an ultimatum. I'm here today not merely to condemn the past chaos of Iran's leaders, but to offer them a new path and much better path forward towards a far better and more hopeful future, he said. Trump made it clear this wasn't about grudges, it's about giving Iran a chance to turn the page. I have never believed in having permanent enemies. I'm different than a lot of people think. I don't like permanent enemies, he explained. As I've shown repeatedly, I've voted to end past conflicts and form new partnerships for a more stable world, even if our differences might be very profound, which they are in the case of Iran. Then came the line that flipped the room. I want to make a deal with Iran. But if Iran chooses terror over peace, Trump made the stakes crystal clear. We will have no choice but to inflict massive maximum pressure, drive Iranian exports to zero like I did before. They were a virtually bankrupt country because of what I did. They had no money for terror, they had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah. And then the bottom line, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. The choice is simple, peace or total economic collapse. The most revealing moment of the night didn't come during foreign policy rundown. It came when Trump let the world in on what actually drives him. This was the line he dropped that will define his legacy. As I said in my inaugural address, my greatest hope is to be peacemaker, a unifier. I don't like war. And this wasn't just talk. He shared a story that the media barely mentioned, one that revealed how his philosophy plays out in practice. Just days ago, my administration successfully brokered a historic ceasefire to stop the escalating violence between India and Pakistan. Two nuclear powers, centuries of tension, and how did Trump stop it? Not with aircraft carriers, with trade, art of the deal. He said, fellas, come on, let's make a deal. Let's do some trading. Let's not trade nuclear missiles. Let's trade the things that you make so beautifully. That one line said everything about his approach, strong enough to demand results, smart enough to de-escalate without bloodshed. They both have very powerful, strong leaders, good leaders, smart leaders. It all stopped. Hopefully it will remain that way, but it all stopped. While other leaders gave speeches, Trump made phone calls and brought peace to the brink of war. As he wrapped up, Trump delivered one final message, not just to the room in, I can't say that word, sorry, but to the entire world. It was a declaration of intent for the great American future. As President Trump of the United States, my preference will always be for peace and partnership whenever those outcomes can be achieved. And then he addressed the legacy of those who came before him, the ones who used American power not to protect freedom, but to enforce ideology. In recent years, they've been bringing democracy to all these countries. Remember, for years and years. No, you don't need to tell them what to do. You need to give them the power to do it themselves. In recent years, far too many American presidents have been afflicted with the notion that it's our job to look into the souls of foreign leaders and use US policy to dispense justice for their sins. He called out the addiction to military might. They love using our very powerful military, and now it's really the most powerful it's ever been. But for Trump, that power is a deterrent, not a tool of destruction. War is easy, peace takes courage. And that's the path he's choosing for America. And if you want to follow, it's Vigilant Fox on X, the Vigilant Fox. Okay. I'm going to end that one there. Okay, and I'm going to end it there today, guys. I've got a few more videos I'm trying to make, I might make it this afternoon. We'll see how I go. But I want to do the slavery, okay? And I just want to check, just bear with me while I have the welcome sign up there. I just want to check that there was stuff that I missed yesterday. I'm not sure if it was very important, but I just want to make sure. Actually, I'll do it off screen. I'll do it off screen and put them at the top again. Yeah, if they need be. Okay, guys, you can let me know what you think about all this down below. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye, guys.